You're listening to Parasearch Radio. News, views and reviews from the world of the paranormal from across the UK and beyond. Find us on Facebook, Twitter and the World Wide Web. The views and opinions expressed by presenters and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of Parasearch Radio or their affiliates and sponsors. Listener discretion is advised.
It's Monday evening, and you're listening to Joe and Gemma on the Supernaturelle show.
Good evening and welcome to this week's episode of the Supernaturelle show. Tonight I am joined by the one and only, it's only Mrs. D. Good evening, Mrs. D.
Good evening, sweet cheeks. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Not too bad, my lovely. Not too bad. Jogging along, as they say, you know.
Well, I wouldn't recommend jogging. It tends to pull muscles eventually.
Oh, this is it. I just kind of fly on the broomstick every now and then.
Well, speaking of broomsticks, we did just say actually off air that tonight's show is probably going to go down like a lead balloon. However, no offence is meant by any of what is said tonight. It is purely going to be on our personal opinions. Isn't that right, Mrs. D?
Totally and utterly our own points of view, our own thoughts through our own eyes. No drama, love. No drama.
And throughout our own journey in this weird and wonderful world that we call paranormal. But we did just say it's going to be like Piers Morgan and Katie Hopkins, didn't we?
Yeah, but we're on the same side.
Yeah. You don't get much more controversial, do you really? So tonight's show is it is all about how the paranormal field can affect one's mentality and well-being. We've got technical issues going on right here. So yeah, it's all about how the paranormal field can affect your well-being and your mental health. And it really, really can. I've experienced this for myself. Have you, Rachel?
To say I have, yes, would be an understatement, my darling. I don't know whether you want me to start or you start.
Well, no, I'm more than happy to start. It's my name on the show, right? So if there's any backlash on this, it is going to come back on me. But as I said, this is not aimed at anybody. It is purely just our own personal thoughts, feelings, and what we've witnessed during our time in the paranormal field. So I think there's a lot of discussion going on, and there always has been a lot of discussion going on about mental health illnesses and people in the paranormal. So what if we turn that around, and can the being in the paranormal field cause you to have anxiety? And in my personal opinion, yes, it can. For the simple reason, you see things on a daily basis that people put out there on social media. So you will see clips of Ghost Hunt A, and that's telling people that dust particles are orbs. And then you start to internalize that and get really frustrated with what you're seeing and hearing, and then you vent to somebody that you think, you vent to a friend, right? And then before you know it, it gets twisted, right, in this whirlwind.
Uh-huh.
And it leads on. I mean, I've got so many personal experiences with this, as I know you have, which was why we said, shall we do it? Shall we be controversial? And shall we do this show tonight? So let's just talk about what we have experienced. So I can say for myself that I've had other people try to block me from hiring locations. I take it you've had that one, Rachel,
okay,
right?
Let's play a game of bingo. We're going to play a game of bingo now, people.
Oh,
Everything that Gemma says, if you're in the chat room, get in the chat room. Everything Gemma says, just put yes or not interested as you go on. So sorry, Gemma, I didn't mean to put in.
Hey, no, you butt in all you like, love. At the end of the day, this is exactly what tonight's all about. It is just about us having a little chinwag. And if we can incorporate a game of bingo into the chat room with that, then why not, right? Just saying, though, there is no prizes, so don't get your hopes up.
No.
So I've had people trying to block me from getting locations, which I personally find very childish. And at the time, I mean, we're going back a good 3-4 years ago on that one. And it was a case of there's no other words other than get a grip.
Yeah.
Get a grip. And then if we talk about let's just move it on slightly to the other people in the paranormal field slagging you off.
Tick, yes. I'm getting good. I'm almost to a line here.
Nathan in the chat room's already got a full house. Yeah. We haven't even started yet. So, Rachel, I know you've had experiences of this. So, do you want to?
Mm-hmm. I really don't know. I don't know where to start with it. Those of you that know me, hi, good evening, and you know that I go off on a tangent.
Not like you, Rach.
First off, with regards to blocking, with regards to location, yeah, what is important is it annoys me. Okay, I used to have exclusivity at Watchford Golf Course. It's a location I worked damn bloody hard for.
Mm-hmm.
I worked 3 years with meetings, batting the eyelid, going in with this paperwork, that paperwork. You know, not to make an excuse, Jem, I'm dyslexic, right? So anything that I have to put down on paper, it's a big deal for me. I really have to set aside the day to do it, really, because I'm a perfectionist when it comes to something that I truly love, and I truly. So 3 years I was doing that for, and I had I had a company come out. I thought everything was good. They'd been out with us before and whatnot. And a couple of days after the investigation, they went in to see the manager and proceeded to slag my team off, and tell them that, you know, I'm a silly little girl, you know, giggly little girl, really don't know what I'm. Let's just put something out there right now, right? I have what you see with me is what you get, but in actual fact, that's a bit of a thing to say from me, because when I'm in the public, I've got to be Mrs. D, or, you know, the paranormal investigator, the manager of GCUK. When I'm with the team, I've got to be the one in control, you know, let them know what's going on. We all work as a team and what have you. And then there's me. And there's me who I talk too much. I laugh extremely loud. I am ditzy. I look at you so confused at what happened. What you're saying to me is actually being processed through my brain. You know, I do play up to it. I'm an ex-redcoat. You know, my whole world, in the words of Shakespeare, my whole world is a stage. I love it. Not because it's a me. It's because I love seeing other people smile. So, yeah, with regards to locations being blocked and taken off, yeah, got that. You know, what was the next thing you were saying?
They're being slagged off by other people because either they're jealous or they don't like the way that you do things. So this happens quite a lot.
There's two things. Oh man, do you know what? I don't put, unless you're on my Facebook, and I really apologise if you're on my personal Facebook, because it is all either my animals. It won't be my children. I love my animals. No, I love my children as well. It's just random stuff. And if you notice, there has been a lot that is not related to paranormal, and we'll come to that later on. Now, you know, with regards to all of this, you've got two channels. You know, and you've got your team, you're working, you know, you're all bonded, you know, you're all working to friendship to do something that you'll love or passion and all the rest of it. Do one slip up or one thing. That's it, they're off, they're slagging you off, you're the worst thing ever. And Bob's uncle, there we go, and up. Yawn, yawn, yawn. Do you know what? I apologise to the Essex area because there is so many teams that were in my. I apologise. I mean, it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing.
But I don't think it's just the Essex area though, Rachel, and this is it. I think it is quite.
It's all over. It is all over the place. Then you've got the people that come on your investigation. Oh, you're the best thing. Oh, Rach. Oh, your team. Oh, let's kiss your ass a little bit more. And then they think that they're getting in on the investigation. And because they're at every investigation, they're there early. They then start dressing like us, and then they expect they're going to be invited onto the team. Listen, I just had any willy-nilly on my team, all right? But these particular people, and then they stampled all over me because they get their own way, right? Went and bad-mouthed me to a big, large organisation that I was working for that was a tick-off on this. I wasn't really bothered anyway. But they went and done that. Do you know what? Ha to you! Because when I was working for that organisation, I was getting paid. Not paid, but, my petrol was being covered. These people, they want to get mugged off, mate. Go and get mugged off. Don't take me down with you. I do what I do. I do this. I have that's why I do it. I don't do it to make money. Never made right insurance, uniforms that comes out of it. The location,
You see, we
put down. There are two. I know what it's down to one being. Everybody's human, and just because 1 minute you're the most brilliant thing on earth, just because something hasn't gone your way, you go and throw your toys at your pram and then go and slag people off. Which is what? Do what you like. I couldn't give a flying monk. What you're actually doing is making yourself a mug, B, in the person instead of coming to the person. Me, okay. Some people say I'm unapproachable. Others say I'm the most loveliest person in the world. How you speak to me, how I am back. I'm respectful to everybody. You've got a problem with me, by all means, come and see me. Give me a message. If you don't like me, take me off, block me. Don't go around taking me off. But on the other hand, Jem, what's the saying? All publicity, that they say. Something along those lines. See, I'm beyond.
Just to make you aware, Rach, and everybody in the chat room, I have just had a few messages just telling me that you keep cutting out, Rach. So we are going to try and rectify this as we're going along. Just bear with everybody. I know that the weather over your end, Rachel, is quite.
Yeah, we are heading for a lovely storm this evening. They are no good tech guys. I've got this sense. Shall I just talk a bit slower?
Yeah. And give me sign language because then I can pick it up, right? So in regards to do we call it jealousy? Is it jealousy? Is it that people are jealous, or is it that I don't really know. Does everybody want centre stage, so to speak?
I don't know. I would quite happily, I personally don't do this fame. You've already stated there's no fortune. I don't know. I think people from the outside and think, oh yeah, that looks wicked. Oh yeah, they're out there and this and that. And I really don't know, Gemma. But personally, for me, I do it because I just love paranormal and I just love working with spirit.
And
it's just a fascination of mine.
You see, I can't say that I haven't made some good friends out of the paranormal field, because I have.
Agree. Totally agree with you.
But
there's more 80% good and then the small percentage that's bad. Yeah.
But let's just focus about how it makes you feel at the times when these incidents are happening. We'll call them incidents because it sounds a bit more PC, right? So for that reason and that reason only, they're going to be incidents. So when these incidents are happening, let's just look at how it makes us feel as individuals. Now, I know myself that during these times, like going back to 4 years ago when I was being blocked from locations for absolutely no reason, it made me feel worthless. There's no other way to put it. It made me feel so insecure. My anxiety went through the roof. I felt like I was incapable of putting on a good event for the public. I felt like I wasn't there to support my team properly, which is what, as a manager of a team, that is what you are there to do, right? So what sort of feelings did you get, Rach?
To be honest with you, I have got a bit of a thick skin. You know, like I say, I've been a red coat. You know, you get heckled, you get a laugh. You know, I've always been the Dixie blonde and always played up to it. So
but in saying that though, Rach, I'm hardly a delicate flower at the best of times. Now, you do know me pretty well, and anybody listening that knows me will also know that I'm not exactly a delicate flower.
No. But when they chip away at you, and the snarky little comments, and when you're seeing things, and it makes you so paranoid, and then I go into panic. I do go when I see things, and you know, people, nothing being aimed directly at me. Thank God that I've not been able to deal with. But you know, even when I see other people slugging me off, or even mention, we was here with another team, and it sends my heart racing. I've never been one to have a panic attack or anything like that. I can't blame it all on the paranormal, because I have gone through an awful lot in my personal life. So when you know, shit hit the fan for me in personal life, it got far too much for me because I used to be able to escape to the paranormal stuff. Right? That was my escape through the door, and you know, there's all these smiley faces and everything's likewise. Everybody, you know, but in actual fact, it wasn't like that. So I was going personal door to my hobby door, and I was stuck in the middle because I didn't want to open either of them, because people say that they're your friends and whatnot, and you can make a really good Jem, you and me, mate, we've got a fantastic friendship. I know you can ring me at any time of night, day or night, we can have a chat. I mean, we won't talk for much, and then all of a sudden we'll just talk, you know. And but then there's others that have got ulterior motives, and it's the fact that you judge yourself, and you look at yourself and you think, oh my God, judge your character, I can't believe I let this person die, or you know, I really thought I was in tune with myself, with energy and whatnot. I can't see this, I believe I didn't sense that, you know, and everything combines into one part. It's your property, and like I say, that year I did take a year off to do personal stuff, but it was also that I've been put off paranormal then. To be honest, this is a little bit of an exclusive right now. It breaks my heart, but I can't even do this much longer, Jem, because my life with going out investigating is slowly going out, and I'm not putting the on anybody else, because I choose to do what I want to do. But it gets to a point where the locations are judging you by other people. Guests that are coming out, watching things on the telly, and expecting to be thrown across the room, or you know, heavy breathing down their ear or whatever, and then they get the because they haven't so much as had a stone thrown at them, and you know, then that person's got the Well, we stay. We don't we can't guarantee paranormal, you know. A lot. And there was something actually you saying about anxiety and mental health and the rest. I remember ages ago reading something, and someone was saying, how on earth some with, in brackets, mental health, anxiety work within the paranormal, because then you are open to the nasty elements and what have you. I'm not taking that risk, Jen.
Yeah. But you see, this is it though. The way that it makes you feel, it makes you question why you do it in the first place, right? I think that's what we're getting out of this, with all the drama within, and it's not just the paranormal field. Let's be realistic, right? This happens in every walk of life. You could work in a shop, and the same thing will be happening in a shop. So, let's be realistic. Yeah. It is human behavior. It is dog eat dog. But does it actually need to be? Does it?
No, because we're all working towards the same thing.
Yeah, but again, are we? Are we all working towards the same thing? Because I know that I'm not working towards the same thing as a lot of other people. Yes. If you think of it realistically, I know that people do tend to like drift apart and go in different directions. Realistically, that's life, right? So are we all working towards the same thing? Because I'd like to see the paranormal field expand and grow. Whereas a lot of people are happy just going out and completing a ghost hunt and then coming home. But I've always been, I'm going to call it nosy, because I am quite a nosy person anyway. But I've always been quite nosy, and I've always asked, as you'll know, Rach, I've always asked why for everything. So it doesn't matter what it is. What do you want for your tea? Why? Yeah. Everything is going to be why. Whereas some people are just happy just to plod along, and that's their right to do so. And if that's what they want, then that each to their own. So are we all after the same thing? Are we all trying to achieve the same thing? And if we're not, then where does that leave the paranormal field?
Sorry, Jim. I was just in the chat room, just reading people's reading people's messages and whatnot. I think the fact that it's the public. You've got the investigation teams, and you've got the events teams. They go out and they do their ghost hunts. That's fine if that's what people want to do. But with me, I want to investigate. I want to do the research. I want to do this. I want to do that, and I want to, go back to locations, have you. But in order to do that, you do need, sort of your public and what have you. And you can't please everybody. I don't know. It's just it's extremely difficult and extremely hard. Say good luck to all the new teams that are coming out there. Good luck to you and all the best. But it makes you feel very, very lonely sometimes.
Exactly, yeah. And I think that's the point that we are trying to make, that as much as you go into this field with friends, you go into it with team members, a lot of it is personal journey, and there is only so many knocks you can take before you start to question everything. And then when that time comes, when you do start to question everything, whether or not you'll choose to admit it, it does tend to affect your mental well-being. I can see from the chat room, Paul's put something in there that even I didn't know, and that is just heartbreaking to even read, if I'm honest.
It's horrible. It's really horrible. People don't see behind the scenes. It's all very well. It's behind the keyboard. That's what it is. People are commenting on things. It's like you can't can't even put your own footage without someone criticising or somebody. And, you're not claiming to have anything paranormal. It's just, hey, look at this, guys. What do you think on this? Well, I can't see anything. Okay, no problem. Thank you very much. Move on.
Thanks for taking the time to look. Exactly. But
Yeah.
I mean, that is the whole paranormal field, right? If you're going to put something out for other people to have their opinions on, then you've got to be prepared to accept their theories, right?
Yeah.
But could that be adapted and said a bit nicer, maybe? I'm the world's worst for it. I will hold my hands up. I come along and do foot and mouth time and time again. Because a spade's a spade with me. I'm not very good at being diplomatic.
See, if it's face to face or if it's on the phone, then you can hear somebody's tone. You can, if you're seeing them, you can see their body language and see how they are. But when things are tight, I might come across blunt sometimes, but it's just the way that I talk. Like you just said, Jen, you might come across blunt, but it's just the way you talk. And I think some people misinterpret sometimes how people are speaking to one another. And I think it can be very misconstrued as to, look, somebody's trying to help you. No, they're not. They're sticking their nose in, making out they know, better than nobody knows better than anybody.
Well, I mean, let's take it back to basics, right? So not one person in this paranormal field can say that they know more than anybody else for the simple reason we're all chasing after something that we don't even know exists.
Yeah. Yep.
And then when you throw on top of that, so you've already got that stress, right? Okay, so it's your passion, you love it. There is just some, and I say this time and time again, once you've been on one ghost hunt, you'll be hooked, you'll be pulled, because one little thing will happen and then that'll escalate, and then you'll find more and more stuff happening the more and more that you do it. But then as you adapt and learn and grow within yourself, you then start to question everything a lot more. And time and time again, it comes back to us as people being the cause of a lot of what we're all experiencing, which is a minefield in its own right. Without the added stress and the added pressure of who's saying what about you to who. And, there's people in the chat room that are saying about rumours that have gone around about them. Is there any need for it?
No, there is. Do you know what? Unless you have concrete proof and evidence, unless it actually affects you.
Right, okay. So
what does it matter what Joe Bloggs down the road has done?
Well, it's safe to say I don't give two flying you-know-whats. So I don't care. I've not got enough hours in the day. I'm busy. I'm a mum. I've got a job. I've got a life. I've got the paranormal. I've not got time for that. There's not enough hours in the day. But it takes one rumor. It takes one rumor to ruin somebody's business, if you like, because as much as we're not in this to make money, some people are lucky enough to actually be able to make money out of it, and good for them. And in all fairness, I know these people, and some of them are truly lovely people, so high five to them. But it takes one rumour that could ruin a business. So, I mean, we see it all the time, right? So let's look at this from the Facebook statuses, and there is other social media platforms available, but let's look at it from Facebook. So how many times do we see it on Facebook, people calling out other people for everything? I don't particularly want to delve into it, because if we go into this is going to become a totally different show, and that's not what it's about. But we'll see something being said. Okay, so somebody booked a location, was selling it to guests, and the deposit hadn't been paid. Do you know what I mean? So that scenario happens, and then before you know it, you've got 2, 3, 4, 500 people jumping on this bandwagon. I knew there was something not quite right about A, and I said this about B, and then that just escalates, right? So you've already got somebody that already knows that they've messed up, right? So they're already, I'm guessing, feeling all these emotions that are just going to send you spiraling out of control. And throw into that keyboard warriors. I can't imagine what that would do to a person.
It's honestly, I've seen it, and then you know that person has done wrong, like you say, but it's just like you say, everybody jumps on before they know the full facts, and then they're going over to whoever they're talking about and screenshotting and stirring the pot and doing this and getting their own opinions. But this is the thing, and this is what they say. As soon as you put anything on Facebook, it becomes or any social media platform, it goes onto there, and then people have an opinion. Everybody has an opinion, whether somebody wants to spout it or not. But then you always get the ones that love a drama. Now, I don't know about you, Jem. I cannot stand anything but a drama. You know, my drama is on a Monday, you know, and on Thursday, and whenever my soaps are on, and what have you. The paranormal, like I said earlier, that was my escape. That was.
You see, I've always done that as well. I've always used that. Well, not used. Yeah, in a way, I used my hobby in the paranormal as a form of escape from everyday life, because as you say, you know, while you're out doing your own thing with your passion, because we're passionate about it, that's why we do it, right? So you're out and you're releasing your stress, and your endorphins are flowing because you're doing something that you enjoy doing, and it's not the mundane housework, sitting in the house running around after children. You know, you are actually thriving because you're really, really enjoying what you're doing. And I think it's that side of it that we need to try and embrace more. But then as you start to grow, and we said it earlier about self-growth and wanting to know more information and building up your knowledge base. So as that starts to happen, you find yourself automatically drifting away from people and groups and, you know, the people that were your support network, if you like. And then you become a lone person. And then, where am I going with this? You become a lone person, and then you hear snippets, because nobody ever comes to you with a full story. You'll hear snippets, and, you know, as Paul said in the chat room, it makes you paranoid. And I completely agree with that. Yeah. I mean, none of us are perfect. We've all made mistakes, you know. At no point will I ever say I'm perfect. Far from. We all make mistakes. But it does make you feel, well, paranoia is a perfect word. Paranoia is huge. Because every time you see something or read something, you instantly think, is that aimed at me?
It's that's not fair, and you know, I know people, they've got, you know, good hearts and what have you, but they're like, oh, I just thought I'd let you know. But when that one person, I just thought I'd let you know, sends a screenshot, and then somebody else kind-hearted, oh, you know, just thought I'd let you know, you'll get about 5 of those, you know, just thought I'd let you know, just heads up, just look, just it. When you've seen it once and you've seen it 5 times, you then, you know, these are like personal friends of mine or whatever, then I'm just like, look, I don't want to know. I'm not interested. I don't want to know. And by the 4th, 5th person, I'm like, I don't want to know. I'm not interested. Then throughout the day, because I've seen that one thing, it then plays on your mind. And then you start thinking, oh my God, I've got an investigation coming. Is this, are people seeing this? Are they, talking about me? Are they, talking about this and that? Because I don't do the big showboat investigations. I don't do the lives every day. I don't do private readings. I don't do this. I don't, because I want it to go back to how it used to be, Jen, about 6, 7, when I start first, sort of got my own team and what have you.
Okay, so and this is where it's going to get interesting, Rach, because what has changed since then, except the fact that we became involved with, not that I'm saying it's a bad thing, because it's never a bad thing to get involved with other people, but when we first started not that we started first 6-7 years ago, but going back 6-7 years ago, the focus was all on the locations, the hauntings, the evidence that was out there, and it's not so much now. It's about he said, she said, rah rah rah.
Yeah, you've got two paths to that. So you've got the he said, she said, oh, they've done this, they've done that, and then you've got, all the fandangled bloody machines that, this equipment, and they've got boxes and boxes and boxes of equipment, and they must. Someone actually said to me a few months back, I got asked to do a private investigation, and I took the bits and the bobs with me. And a few days later, they had an actual investigation, and I bumped into the lady while I was out, and she said, "Oh, do you know what?" She said, "I have to say, she said, I had a really good night with you." I said, "That's really lovely. Thank you very much." And she's the manager of this location who's at. I said, "How did it go with the team?" That she said, "Well, I have to say," she said, "when they walked in, I thought, oh, these must be a professional, because they came in with that." I said, "Oh, really?" She said, "Yeah." She said, "They had all this equipment. They've done this, they've done that." I was like, wow. And I said, "So when I turned up with my equipment," I said, "and you compared it to that, did you?" And she said, because I said, "You said that they looked very professional." I said, "Did I not look professional?" She said, No. She said, "I didn't mean it like that." She said, "But they just had all this equipment." I said, "But you started the conversation with saying thank you. You had a fantastic night." I said, "You've been, She said, "No." She said, "With all that equipment, all that thousands of pounds of this, we got more activity on your handheld equipment than we did all that fandangle stuff." Now, this is another thing this is another part, because of all these TV shows, because of all this, because of all that. I talked to a few people that do the apps, that make the sound boxes and what have you, and it fascinates me. It really fascinates me how they can make these devices. But when the public come out, or other teams have got this, oh wow, they've got this, oh wow, I've got that, and there's little old me turning up in the Subaru with a few little handheld boxes that you're damn sure you're gonna have a good night. And people, you should never touch a book by its cover. Just because I have this or I haven't got this, I haven't got that, doesn't make it any less of a team that is good.
And definitely not. And throw into that mix as well the knowledge that people have got, because we're all coming at it from different angles, right? So you come at things from a spiritualist point of view.
But I do have researchers on the team.
Yes, you do. Yeah, and I'm not discounting that at all, but you come at it from a spiritual point of view. Somebody else will come at it from a scientific point of view. If you throw all these into the mix and actually discussed findings, then would you not think that we'd be able to progress a lot further?
Oh, definitely. Do you know what? If all of the teams actually pulled together and actually worked together, instead of it being, like we said, a popularity contest, if you actually sat down, because it's all very well, I don't get these teams, and please explain to me because I don't get it.
Go on, I'll do my best.
These teams that go out, say for instance, they'll go to Hellfire Caves. For instance, right, okie dokie, Joe Bloggs, his team, they're going to be going to Hellfire Caves. It's £55 a night. Da 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 da. Brilliant. Got the equipment, they've got this, they've got that. A lot of teams aren't working with mediums, and if they are working with me, then that's a whole nother show. But there's no research. So it's all very well, you're going out on these investigations, it's all investigations in brackets. It's all very well, you putting up there, you doing your live videos every night, you getting everybody to share it and like it and comment and do this and do that, popularity contest. They're on there when they come back, say on a Sunday. I can't wait to read people's findings, to see their photos, to just feel like I was there kind of thing, you know. But to tally up with what I've got in the past. But they don't, Gemma. And I don't understand these teams that go to a location, have a night there, go home and go to sleep and that's it. There's no reviewing of footage. There's no, you know, myself and my team, okay, we haven't had anything to review, to be honest with you. But, you know, back in the day, Jem, we'd sit there for 8 hours on my front and watching frame by frame, listening to the recorders, you know, looking back on photos, lightening them, you know, just doing this and doing that. And my husband used to call us the dust catchers because a lot of it was dust. You know, but there's no research, Jen, and I don't get it. How can you go and do
see, I can only speak for myself here, so anybody in the chat room, by all means, feel free to jump on this one. But if and
be kind.
No, well, you see, this is the bit where I become Piers Morgan, and I can't really say as I'm bothered by that, in all fairness. But when I'm going on a public ghost hunt, I do not do any research at all, because what's the point? It's not a serious investigation. It's a public ghost hunt. I am not going to sit for hours trawling through bits of information and putting together a case file for a public ghost hunt. But that doesn't mean to say that if I was to go off and do a private case, that I wouldn't do that, because that is a complete different ball game. And I think that that's where a lot of people get confused. Does that make sense?
I get it. I do get it. But see, a lot of my guests are regulars. A lot of my guests are interested in the fact of what is being picked up on the handheld equipment, what I'm picking up, what somebody else in the room that is claiming to work with spirit, what they're picking up. So, you know, because, you know, Jem, I return to locations because
but you see, I think that's where it's slightly different for us two, Rach, because you return to the same locations. So for you, every investigation that you're doing at these locations, that becomes like a case file for you, which is why you do document your nights, and you do a report after the event, because it becomes a case file for you. But for me, I don't often, well, I'll say I don't often, I have returned to quite a few locations several times. But as a rule, when I'm doing a public investigation, and this is going back to when I had my own team. So when I was doing a public investigation, I would get basic history. So if somebody said to me, can you tell me what happened here in 1876? Yes, I can. But I would not do full-blown research for a public ghost hunt. I just wouldn't do it. But as I say, you know, for a private case, that is so different. If I'm doing a private case, then it's a fine-tooth comb jobby, as Paul said in the chat room. Literally, I will troll through everything. I will go off to archives. I will go to I don't have to go to the SPR because I can get it all on my little old laptop now.
Yeah.
But I would go trawling through all that information. I would be speaking to previous occupants. I would be doing everything I can to build up a comprehensive case file. So I think that's where the difference is. Because you return time and time again, that is your case file, right?
Yeah.
See, again, I don't do reports after public ghost hunts either.
See, again, we do because we return back. And I'll be quite honest with you. If I had the opportunity to do these locations privately with just men and do a full case study and report and what have you, I would thrive at that.
Yeah.
But Jem, I can't. Me and my team ourselves, we can't afford the higher cost. So I'll be honest with you. That is why we put it out there to the public. Jem, if I could go without pub, then I would.
Yeah.
Because you know you're not, so to speak, on show. Not that you are on show anyway, but
well, no, technically, well, you are as a manager of an events company, right? You are there. You're not there to enjoy the investigation. You're there to make sure that health and safety is met, that your staff are doing what they're supposed to be doing, that your guests are all looked after. You know, you've got the whole night to worry about. So you are not enjoying that night, and you are on show because technically, whichever way you look at it, you are your company, right? You are the face of your company. So you are on show. You are selling yourself.
Oh, baby. Not really.
But again, that is added stress to this already bubbling pot, right?
Yeah.
I've been there, as you know, Rach. I've been there when I had my own team. And how many times did we speak? And I say to you, I cannot do this anymore.
How many times have you had me on the phone to you crying, I can't do this no more, Jen. I can't do it. I can't face it. They'll hate me.
But it is so stressful. And it does start to wear you down. And it's not that easy to keep picking yourself up time and time and time again, which is why I don't really investigate an awful lot anymore, if I'm honest. I do the odd public event, and don't get me wrong, love it. I did an event recently, and it was amazing because I had no pressure. There was no stress. I was literally just there to have a good time. And it wasn't even about collating any evidence either, because that's not what it was about.
No, it was just to be there for the experience, to just enjoy yourself.
Exactly. It was going back to roots, if you will. And I think every once in a while it is so good to do that.
Oh, definitely. There's so many teams. I'm part of the Lincolnshire Spirit Seekers Paraunity family, and I know you say about we're not going into
yes we are. You've mentioned it now, so we're going to have to. Yes, you are. So you've just brought me on to another. I know, right? Put your wooden spoon away, woman. Put your wooden spoon away. Paraunity. You want to talk about paraunity? Let's do it. Let's discuss paraunity. What is it?
Okay.
What is it? Because I'm yet to see it.
Right. No, you don't see it. No, you don't see it. And I don't. And I love you, Dem. I am the Kate you are right now. You don't see it because we're not in the thick of everything. We couldn't give a monkey's what so and so's doing, and we couldn't give a jib's ass what so and so's doing, or who's pumped this one, who's not paid that one, who's done this. We couldn't give them. We're all under sort of the radar, popping along to our own tune, helping one another along. Do you know what? I wish that everybody that I speak to them all on a daily basis. We've all got a group chat. We'll say hi, morning. Hope you're all good and hope you're well. And someone will put in there, I'm having some trouble with this or that. Someone else jumps in, no worries, mate. Here's the link, or here's what I've done. And and it's so fresh and it's so nice, but it's so few and far between.
Right, okay. So that sounds lovely. That sounds great. Don't get me wrong. Been there, done that. Right. I had my own team, Rach. You had your team, and yeah, I would when you needed extra staff, I was gladly there. I was like, not a problem, mate. Look us a hoodie, I'll come and give you a hand. You know. That is, and I'm doing air quotes, everybody at home. That is para-unity, right? That is one person helping another, because that is what we're meant to do, right? But
yes.
I mean, Ashley Nib is in the chat room, right? Please, by all means, because I cannot remember your rant about para-unity, but by all means, pop that in the chat room so everybody can see it. But para-unity only exists for people as long as it benefits them. In my experience.
With you. No, because I was hovering around in the social media world, bopping along, and I'd see a new team pop up, and I'd say, oh, you know, guys, look, try this location, try that location. If you need any help, do this, do that. And I did that for a few people, and I had my ass bit. Yeah. So they were only out to get what they want. So I'm still floating around in limbo thinking, am I the only muppet that is trying to be nice and trying to help other teams and trying to team up with other teams, you know, to work together, to collaborate, you know, case files and reports and what have you as together, because everybody works differently. And I got talking to Martin Alley, and he said, you know, look, Rach, I've seen, you know, what you do, I keep you around and what have you, you know, I love what you do and I love the way you think. And all he has done is put an umbrella out on everybody who wants to help another team out, everyone who is not judgmental, who is not out for their own. Do you know what? Come in out of the rain and come under our umbrella. And do you know what, Jem? There is not one of them people in that chat or in you know, the club, sort of, you know, the page around here.
Yeah.
I've not actually come across anybody that is around my neck of the woods. And
so where are they from?
They're all up north. And,
you know, my neck of the woods.
And, yeah. You know, there is one team I'm thinking of right now. I'm not going to say it.
No, we can't say it because we're impartial.
No, I'm not going to. Listen, I'm a lot of things. I wouldn't do that. They popped up in November, right? Jack, we've had this.
Yeah.
In January, they become professors overnight. They become professors. It's amazing. Then all of a sudden, they've got this tarot thing, spiritual messages, and I tell you what, pay us through PayPal. We'll be here all night, playing music, drinking and laughing, and giving you a tarot. Is that what it's? No, I'm sorry. No, I don't want to be a part of that.
But you see, this is it. I mean, we said it earlier, and I'll say it again. You know, I have met some incredible people that I am so lucky to have in my life through the paranormal field. And you know, Paul's saying it in the chat room as well. So Paul said that he does just the same, but some people don't want the help because they're experts already, which I couldn't agree with more. And he's also said something that does not exist. Paul, can you just clarify if you meant para-unity by that? But going back to what I was saying, you know, I've met some incredible people that I am so lucky to have in my life, and to be honest, I wouldn't want my life without them in it. I don't say that's para-unity. I say that's friendships being made.
No, that's friendship. No, that's different. That's friendship. That's friendship. You know, with the para-unity and all the rest of it, you know, if, like I say, if someone goes to Martin and says, look, I've got an investigation in this area, have you anyone able to help? No judgment. No wading in, oh, I'm the star, come to save the day. It's, yeah, mate, no worries. Contact this person, they'll come and help. Like I say, we've got down here. I'd love to go off and help someday, but we haven't got anyone around here that's part of it. They've got they have got Paracon coming up at
the village church farm in Skegness. Yeah, you see, I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah, I've been asked to give a talk over 2 days, Jen. I've just got to talk for an hour on both days.
Oh, you'll smash that. They'll be kicking you off after an hour and a half. They'll be like, that's enough, love, you've ranted away, get off.
But, you know, coming out, he's got some really fascinating people coming along. I won't read them all off. There is a Facebook poster going around. I'll share it later with you. But there's no judgment. There's, you know, I'm putting on the group chat, oh my God, I don't know what I'm going to talk about. I haven't got, because these guys, they've all got chapters, they've got this and they've got that. And because of me, I am who I am. And so...
But does that not make you feel a bit inadequate? Does that not...
No, because they've asked me to go and talk. They all know what I'm like. I've made it what? You know. But no, because there's no judgment, Jem. There's no, oh my God, look, she's just turning up with her handbag. Look at her. Oh, lucky for me, I'll just turn up with my handbag and my voice all in tune. Do you know what I mean? They've got their house before setting up. But all joking aside, that is what it's about. And I just wish that, like Paul said in the chat room, everybody's an expert. Everybody's got this. Even you're an expert in something, and you got that in an afternoon sitting on the toilet, wasn't it?
Mate, exactly that. Yeah, I mean, how many times do we have to discuss my parapsychology diploma that I got in 20 minutes flat? Do you know what I mean? But it's true. But at no point would I say that I'm an expert. Would I say that I've got knowledge? Yes. And if I'm totally honest, I've got a lot more knowledge than people give me credit for.
But you don't have to go boasting that about.
Well, I don't see the point.
That's you. But you've got these other people that are out there, and they work so hard and well done, but just, I don't know, I've got to say it's like Towie have come in to the paranormal realm, and you know, they're all going down Sugar Up Village. You know, they're making a mockery out of it all. You know, that's how I feel. I'm sorry.
Well, no. We did say that this show was going to be all about personal experiences and our troubles within the paranormal field, which is exactly, we've stayed true. But is that what we're saying? Yeah. Basically, is that what we're saying in terms of if you're going to put yourself in this paranormal field? Well, not just the paranormal field, but any field. You have to be prepared to take knocks. But the one thing to do is always stay true to yourself.
Stay true to yourself, and you know, when enough's enough, enough's enough.
But what do you do when you do get, because like we said earlier, you know, we've both had times where we've said, why am I bothering? How do you know when enough is enough? How do you know when you say, do you know what, I've reached the end of my paranormal journey?
Do you know what, Jim? I can actually answer that. It's exactly how I'm feeling right now. I've got Hellfire Caves coming up on the 6th of July. And yeah, I feel a bit choked up again. I know I'm going to get lots of messages, and I really do sincerely apologise, but I really honestly, in my heart, that will be my last investigation.
So you are technically at that stage now where you're saying, I'm done.
I have actually gone through my cupboard over the past month, and I out all of my stuff and all of my uniform, and I put it all away. And it really does. It upsets me because I've done this because I'm fascinated. I've always had something there, and I don't care. I don't have to prove myself to anyone, and that's been the problem, Jen. People, I'm getting silly.
So
people expect so much from you, and like Paul said, everybody becomes an expert. But just because you're a confident person, that doesn't make you a know-it-all. It doesn't make you a hoity-toity or anything else. It makes you human.
Yeah.
makes you who you are. And it's just so upsetting. The grown adults just think so much. There's this big thing about, bullying and cyberbullying, and, take a long, hard look at yourself. Have you ever sent a message and thought, yeah, take, and then think of it? Have you not thought how that person is feeling? They're still bopping along. But do you know what? Hurt.
And this is what we were saying right at the very start of the show. There is only so many knocks that you can take before it becomes too much. Yeah. And you're now at that stage where you're more than considering giving up something that you absolutely love for the wrong reasons.
Yeah, but are they the wrong reasons? Is it just the fact that I personally have come to the end of my road and it's what's meant to be? Or is it that I can't take any more? And as I sit here now, I say to you, not thinking of my subconscious, yeah, Jen, I've had enough of bitching, I've had enough of sniping, I've had enough of, people popping up and just not even bad mouthing me, bad mouthing other people. It's not. It's about going out in your team together, having a bloody good laugh, an investigation, make news, take your own experiences away, and then the drive home. Oh my God, Jim,
I know, right? Don't you just miss those? I know we're going over time, and I'm so sorry, everybody listening at home, that we are going over time. But at the end of the day, this is something that no, don't be sorry. This is something that needs to be discussed. And we said this earlier because we spoke earlier, Rach, on the phone, and we said, everybody in the paranormal field gets to a point where they begin to question everything, and then it's a case of what do you do from there. You've already said that you're thinking that giving up the event side of things. Do you honestly believe that you are willing and wanting to give up the whole of the paranormal, or is it just the, dare I say, interacting with others that you?
I tell you what, I can tell you in one word: don't compete. I'm competitive, but I don't compete. I can't compete people that make money on the side through doing readings or tarot readings, what have you. I can't compete with that. I love a lie. But listen, there's only so much normal stuff you can talk about. I can't see myself travelling, and I on the 6th of July, the thought of packing the car, going all that way, and then having to drive all the way home. If someone said to me, Rachel's cancelled, I'd be like, okay, no job.
But where does that leave you? Sorry. Where does that leave you in respect? But in respect of your spiritual journey, because that's not something that you can just continue privately.
No. Yeah. Well, because I have been very, very quiet, and even a year ago when I did go through that personal stuff, I did take a step out. I have started doing my own thing with regards to spirituality, because again, I an old school circle to be a part of. So I do my own thing, and at the end of the day, it's a God-given gift. Who is it to tell me how I work and what have you? I'm having it out on my own. I've spoken to other mediums, I've spoken to other sensitives and what have you. I don't need to work in a circle. I don't need to prove myself to anybody. I went out a few weeks ago, had a few drinks and what have you, and all of a sudden I sat there and I told this everything. And my husband come over and he's like, Rach, you're doing it again. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. If something needs to be said, something could be said, and I can deal with that. And to be honest, things that are happening with me personally, spiritually, I'm enjoying it. And I it's like how I investigate. Spirits are not there to entertain us. We are there to connect.
Yeah.
And you know, it's how it is, and I still be around, you know.
So although the events side of things is looking like it's coming to an end for you, your love of the paranormal is still there.
It's still very much. It's still very, very much there. You know, if someone said, right, Rachel, we're sending a car for you, you're going to come out and investigate this for the night. Wicked, fantastic, brilliant. I just can't. I think I'm still getting older, but I've got you have so much in your mind on the way to investigation. You're all chatting away, you're all trying to have a laugh, you're trying to have a giggle, but you're trying to concentrate on the road, you're trying to concentrate on other people. Then you're thinking, oh God, the cats, are the children okay? Did I do this? Did I do that? Did I pack this? Did I pack that? Did I pay this? Did I message that one? Did I do this? And I've actually got to the point where I don't think that stress, Gemma, because it's just not worth it anymore. I'm not reputable teams are not being recognised for the fantastic jobs that they do. But that's just my opinion. That's my opinion.
And again, you know, it's not all bad. I've said it time and time again. You know, there is good points, and I think what I'm getting out of tonight's conversation is, for as many bad points that there is some positives, and I think you have to take those positives and run with them. And
I am definitely, like we said earlier. You know, I've met some fantastic people, you included, love. You ain't going to get rid of me anytime
right,
soon.
girl.
I'm always going to be around. And, you know, there's so many people that I could reel off that, you know, you guys, you know who you are. I speak to you every now and then. I'll pop in every now and then go, ooh, you know, but I'll take that away. I'll take all my experiences and I'll reflect back on them and think, oh, you know, could I done this, could I done that? You know, but yes.
Yeah, you see, I'm a big reflector.
Yeah.
I self-reflect an awful lot.
Yeah. And everything that's happened, I'm so grateful for the experiences I've had, the people I've met, the people I've worked with, sweet cheeks, wink, wink, you know, and the locations that I have had the opportunity to go to. I'm happy. It's like when we worked with another company.
Yeah.
I wasn't bothered because it was a tick.
Mhm.
I've done it. I'd accomplished it. I've done it. I'm not going away with my head, you know, my tail between my legs. I haven't done anything wrong. My husband's not done anything wrong. It's me. I've just had enough, and that's all it is. You know.
Enough.
But yeah,
enough of the drama.
There are positives, like you say.
I think, yeah. I mean, praise the Lord for these positives that we have got, because I think without them it would be such a sorry state of affairs. But I think, I mean, for anybody listening to tonight's show that knows exactly where me and Rach are coming from on this, and knows what it feels like to be in that situation, I'm assuming I can speak for you as well, Rach, when I say this, that if anybody ever wanted just to have a chinwag and get it off the chest, you know, feel free, drop us a message.
Oh God, yeah.
Drop us a message. Don't sit and suffer with all these thoughts that run through your head. And I know somebody put in the chat room earlier about how it actually affected them, and to the extent where they was wishing that they was no longer here. Nobody should ever have to feel like that. And, you know, as much as I personally believe para-unity is rubbish, I will always make time to speak to people.
Yeah. No.
Don't anybody feel like there's no way out because of a hobby.
Yeah, there is. And you know what? Not everybody is out for themselves. There's lots of other people like myself and Gemma, you know, the other guys on the shows and what have you. You know, they're all there. What you see is what you get with them. there's no hidden pretenses. There's no what can I get out of this person? What are they going to bring to my table? There's none. So, you know, with regards to your little umbrella, again, I'd say that's very unique. You know, it's you are who you are.
See, I would call that friendships.
Yeah. When you don't talk on a personal level, that's para-unity. You talk on a personal level, it's friendship.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
My phone's always on. Anybody wants to message, even if you've just got crap saying you haven't spoken all day long, send me a voice message. I don't care. I'm normally making me smelly melts, or you know, taking the dogs for a walk or something, or dealing with a child of some sort that's stubbed its toe or something. But you're not on your own. Please don't ever think you're on your own. And listen, if someone's on the end of the keyboard and this and that, do you know what? Just block it. I know it's easier said than done, and I've done it and I've well done it, but you know what? They're not worth it. They are not worth time or your energy. You know, what you give out, what you get back. Just spread the love, and keep it real.
Exactly. And Rach, it did turn into a bit of Piers Morgan's life stories there, mate, because we went a bit deep for you. And for that, I massively thank you just for being open and honest about exactly how you're feeling and the struggles that you're going through at the minute. And honestly,
I'm sorry.
Thank you so much for joining me tonight. I really, really do appreciate it.
You know what, babe? Thank you so much for having me. I love it. I love having our chin wags, and I love seeing everybody else's posts. Even, you know, it's all good. It's all good. But thank you, and I'm sorry for going.
No, don't be sorry. At the end of the day, it shows emotions and it shows how passionate you are.
It's like a toy that's been taken away, but I'm cool. I'm cool for it to be taken. It's all good. You never know.
It's not going to be taken completely, though, is it? As we said, you know, the event side of things are coming to an end, but your paranormal journey isn't. You're still going to be continuing. You're still going to be building your knowledge, your research. You're still going to be doing what you love doing, just without the issues.
Yeah, definitely. And I've still got all my friends around me, so
Exactly. Rachel, thank you so much for joining me tonight. You are an absolute star. And to everybody listening in the chat room, thank you so much for being so interactive as always. I'm sorry if we didn't get a chance to read out any of your messages. Me and Rach will off air actually go through them and probably discuss them a bit more, I think it's safe to say. But for everybody listening at home, thank you so much for joining me and Rachel tonight. Kerry, massive thank you for doing the studio as always. And don't forget, there is shows on pretty much every night of the week, 9 p.m, Spreaker, Facebook, YouTube. Don't forget to click like, share and subscribe. And from me, it's good night. Rachel, say good night.
Thank you for listening. Don't forget to join us for more shows throughout the week. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, and the World Wide Web to keep up to date with all the shows right here on Parasearch Radio.